But actually, the part I keep coming back to, like day to day, was all the little kind of nuggets of like real world wisdom that you would drop from time to time. Um, like you had this mentality of stop overthinking it, just board it, and put it out there and see how it plays. And that's like stuff like that was stuff that really really stuck with me. That was just like, as you said, I kind of came in with low self doubt and just like lack of experience, I guess. So it felt like you almost were passing on your experience through to me.
Hi everyone, it's been a while. I haven't done a student testimonial in a while. Today I want to introduce you to Ren. He recently finished my action boarding mentorship, and today we're going to talk to him about his experience during the mentorship. So, Ren, could you just really quickly introduce yourself to those people who are watching and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi, I'm Ren. I am currently a story like student or an animation student with the focus on storyboarding in Dublin, Ireland. And I'm just going into my senior year. And I took the mentorship with Raj over the summer to kind of supplement my learnings. I'd always had an interest in action sequences and never really got the time to delve into it. And who else to take it with than the master himself? So
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Ren. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions here. And the first question I want to ask you is, um, as a student who is trying to learn as much as possible, uh, why did you decide that, okay, even though there are so many different classes, online classes, and professionals out there, why did you say, wow, this mentorship looks like it's the right thing for me and I'm going to choose this one this summer?
I really, really liked the idea of doing a one-on-one mentorship. I felt like I was at this stage of my life where I've taken a couple classes and I've done some stuff in college, so I kind of had the basics down. But there was just some things that I really am struggling with, and when it's such a big like group class, there was never like the time or opportunity to ask these specific questions or get that really specific feedback that I thought I needed. And so it ended up like really working out. The timing when I saw your ad online, and I just been looking for something like that, and it was perfect. So I decided to take it.
Awesome. Sounds great. So the action mentorship itself was 5 weeks, right? And we were able to kind of develop an original sequence that you created from scratch, right? So if you had to describe the process of creating that sequence to other students, how would you describe that process?
Yeah, yeah. It was very interesting and like quite distinct from other courses I had taken before, where the pacing was a little bit more relaxed, which I thought allowed for a lot more exploration and kind of doing little tangents. For example, even during the classes, sometimes, I'd have a specific question or something I found really interesting about the music.
Yeah.
And, we would have the time to go into it and explore it. Um, so in terms of the specific process, we started off with just an idea that we then developed through a couple rounds of thumbnails, and that then transformed into roughs. And I think we had the time to do maybe two rough passes, and then I cleaned that up on my own after the end of the mentorship.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a very exploratory
Yeah.
process for
Yeah.
me.
One of the things that we went through specifically with you was that you you really had a bit of self doubt about the story itself, and we were always going back to like figure out, okay, why isn't it working for you? How could we get it to work for you? Because in the mentorship itself, I tried to guide you to your vision instead of actually telling you you should do it like this. do it like this because I say so. All right, and you are allowed to kind of like, Raj, I still don't like the act one. I want to go back in to see how it links back up to the ending and stuff. And there was a lot of time for us to kind of discover your vision in that way, right? Um, so the mentorship kind of was like broken up into two sections. It was like a theory part where I did like a presentation, and then it was kind of like the story room type session where we developed your sequence. Was there like anything in either section that you uh, learned about that you didn't know before the mentorship and that you're applying now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was obviously there was a lot of insights that were super fundamental and like um, quite useful, like specific action boarding stuff. But actually, the part I keep coming back to, like day to day, was all the little kind of nuggets of like real world wisdom that you would drop from time to time. Um, like you had this mentality of stop overthinking it, just board it, and put it out there and see how it plays. And that's like stuff like that was stuff that really really stuck with me. That was just like, as you said, I kind of came in with low self doubt and just like lack of experience, I guess. So it felt like you almost were passing on your experience through to me. So I would say that while there was tons of like really like amazing specific storyboarding stuff, there was also just so much like work on the approach, like I should take and people should take to storyboarding.
Yeah, yeah, because you really, I think you had this mindset before that you needed to have the perfect pass. And, I told you just get it out and then you could always go back and make changes. And that's kind of like how we actually do it at Netflix. We do like an entire pass and then we are able to like see the errors and, go back and fix them, right? So I kind of taught you like, this is okay. It's okay to be wrong and then go back and fix it. And that was something I feel as though you couldn't do on your own because like you was like I needed to be perfect before I put it on the page, right? So you have like this kind of new mindset now that you could go back and reiterate and make it the way that you want to make it. So that's super cool to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So every student is different and they experience the mentorship different. What would you say for you was the most valuable part of the mentorship and your experience?
Um, I found so much value in actually exploring the process of storyboarding through with you. So rather than, just kind of dry theory
Mm-hmm.
or just a story room, it was such a nice mix of both where we could, take so like, a certain type of scene or a certain type of shot and really examine it. And then I'd be able to put it into practice and then later discuss it with you and, get feedback on my implementation of it. And there were certain things that, like for example, like with water or like with long take, that like I started trying to develop from almost week one. I think from week two because you mentioned it
Yeah.
at the very beginning, and then I kept trying to get it right and get it right. And just getting your feedback on it over the weeks was like really really like helpful, and I feel like that allowed me to develop a very not just on a like a basic understanding of the shop, but also try and get my own spin on it a little bit. Kind of put in my own personal, like develop my own personal flavor
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, I definitely agree because one of the things I tell students is that having a very unique voice is something that will make you stand out to recruiters and people who are looking because they want to see what does Ren bring to our film. We want to see Ren's voice, and it's good to develop that personal voice instead of me trying to make you become me or do films like me. I want to help you become you and do films like you. All right. So this is the last question. So based on like your experience and going through the entire thing and getting to know me and stuff like that, who do you think this mentorship is would be the best for, and who do you think would you know really benefit from it, and who would you recommend it to?
I think anybody who's taken a couple classes from, online schools or in person and has, kind of an understanding of the basics, and maybe some like even like intermediate stuff, but is really looking to polish their specific skills, or there's certain areas that they just feel are lacking, but you can't like tell exactly what's wrong with your stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
like a really, really great person this mentorship could be for. Um, because as I said, you really seem to have all the answers to, you know, what shot comes next, and like you'd always have an answer for it. So it was a really, yeah, I would recommend it to like anybody with a little bit of experience who's just looking to for that special, kind of thing to add to their repertoire.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So I will, for those of you who are watching this on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you'll probably see me insert Ren's final piece into the interview so you can see his work. If you want to see more of his work, Ren, could you tell everyone where they can find your portfolio or your Instagram or your LinkedIn? What are all your social medias?
Yeah, well, I'm Reps Art on Instagram, and that links to everything. That's WRENS Art at Instagram, and that links to everything. Thanks so much.
Awesome, awesome. All right, thanks everyone for watching and for listening to Ren's experience in the mentorship. If you're seeing this interview, that means there are currently new openings in the mentorship. So feel free to message me on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever you're actually watching this interview, and we'll see if we could or if I could start working with you on the action boarding mentorship if that's something you really want to improve on, right? So again, thanks Ren so much for doing this and sharing your experience with everyone, and I hope you all go and look at Ren's work and see what he created in the mentorship. So thanks again everyone,
Thanks, Raj.
bye bye.